Okay, press it now. Lighting up now. It shows both icons, wired and Wi-Fi. Oh. Okay. Okay. All right, just all working. Hey, thanks.
Yay! Yay!
I get to keep my job
Hi there.
for today. All right.
I believe you can hear me.
Let's not forget to record that long.
Oh yeah, we'll push that once
Oh,
we
okay.
once we start. Yeah.
Okay. Over to you then.
Okay.
So this is it.
Guys, I'm just waiting. I'll give you 5 minutes now, but I will confirm in a bit.
Definitely got reflection, huh? I'm sure.
Yeah. It's definitely a lot better than the reflection we had last time, but there is still a bit.
Yeah. Your test shot, I don't know which garden you were in. Where was that?
That was at Silver Mist Estate in Constantia.
This is so beautiful.
It was amazing. I don't know if it's because it was like they're struggling or whatever. It was 700 rand a night for both of us.
Yeah.
And now
that's
everybody
not a
in
normal
FC
rate.
knows too.
It's so beautiful up there.
It was amazing. Big, huge fireplace and bath on the side. It was really great.
What is this?
That's the housing. Genre, I'm just letting you know that we can see a bit of reflection and we can see the housing a little bit on the left. I didn't see any on the right though.
Never the right, it's always left. It's nice and clear, huh?
Yeah, it's
Water is good.
Is that
The fizz is
amazing today?
Gwen. FC for Trish. FC, do you copy?
Stand by, Rebecca's responding.
Copy that. Just let me know when you can do some checks with me. Guys, we're still waiting on FC.
Nothing Genre can do about this, huh? The housing.
It's the housing. It has to be changed. It has to be adjusted.
And the
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The
like
reflection. Yeah. We'll just have to deal with the reflection, unfortunately. At least for now.
But that's what that is, right?
Yeah,
That
Yes.
black thing coming in, okay.
yeah, that's the dome reflecting light.
Yeah. Yeah, the GoPro is shifted because it doesn't happen on the right, and when we
Yeah.
tested it for the test,
It,
it wasn't moving.
yeah.
So somewhere.
But I think,
While we
Pete,
moved,
you just said that, huh? That the GoPro had shifted?
Yeah, I think so. But,
It did. It definitely did.
Yeah, well, I have to somehow fix it a bit more tight.
Okay.
So you might be seeing a bit of the side of the
Just the left part of the housing is being seen.
How come Stefano is that? It's a neck weight.
So instead of having all your weight around your waist, you can shift it on parts of your body.
It's nice.
So
Duck diving.
I've never seen it before.
yeah. So actually, you also use it ultimately for depth, but it's really good for streamlining your body
Yeah.
because your body has different weight in different parts,
Yes.
and so to have weight just around
One
one
part.
part.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Totally.
Especially if you're trying to get down to little
Yeah.
crevices
Yeah.
and things.
You'll notice it more when you're doing a dynamic, which we is taught in a sports course, but you're doing pull laps. And in a dynamic, you want to be like linear. You want to look like a ruler in the water.
Parallel. Yeah.
So if you're carrying all the weight here,
I mean,
You know what I mean?
horizontal.
you might do this, and your head is up, and you have to force yourself.
Guys, we'll still be a few minutes as FC has to basically change stations.
You streamline like a ruler.
Yeah.
Pete,
Yeah?
can you come and help with a dry hand?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Andre's here.
I was like, it's code word for something land-based.
Yeah, it's a commitment.
Where are you guys moving?
Komiki,
You're saying Komiki, okay. Okay.
hopefully. It's I mean, it's small, so there's not much available. But I really, really, really like it there. Sorry, I went to Musenberg and all the trees were growing like this instead of
Now you can tell the sign vegetation.
That's so funny.
You're like, I spent 3 months in the bush. I know.
Yeah, I can read.
This is not
The
normal tree.
landscape.
Yeah. That's true.
These trees mean very sore ears.
Yeah.
Well, we have it better in winter because we don't have the winter.
How bad is the picture?
From the GoPro, the edge is really.
Oh, it just comes up in the small panel here.
So it's a bit loose. It varies or something.
Yeah, but only on this side.
But not. It's not workable. It's just.
No, it's workable.
Yeah. You know, I guess when you guys were talking about it, they thought that you were talking to them and kind of like
Oh.
made them come back. So.
Okay.
I was like, we warned you guys.
And nothing grows in the garden.
Yeah, it's just like sand. But where they live, super more protected.
I also I like Noordhoek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing is that's very complicated for us. We don't know when you're trying to talk to us or not if everyone is chatting around your mic.
Yeah,
We're
I figured
straining
it.
to what are they saying? Are they talking to us or they're not talking to us?
Yeah.
So like all or nothing I think would be.
Yeah, we'll.
Okay.
until
Or we can
we're
just
live.
put it off until we're ready to go live.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm
Because
ready
we
to.
don't know actually how loud are you? Are you talking or not? Is the volume wrong?
Yeah, we
Especially
weren't
not-
really talking to you guys at all. So
I mean,
So
I
when you
did
were talking
mention
about
it
the
to you.
reflections and
That
that
was
stuff.
just
We
between
weren't
us.
sure if you guys are telling us to come back or there's a
Oh,
problem.
but also if you need to come back, I'll tell you to come back.
And
But
if
I
I'm
won't.
going like this, let's just repeat or talk louder or clearer.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I did get that,
Okay.
and then I did. But if I need you to come back, I will tell you to come back.
Yeah.
But also, we won't chat unless our thing is off, to make it a little bit clearer.
Okay. Cool.
And also more of this activity also moving away, which will be helpful.
Just so anybody who's listening to this knows, I'm switching the mic pack off until we are ready to go live, just because the divers hear this and it's just us chatting. Okay, bye for now. Still looking good, guys. I haven't got an update from FC yet. I'll keep you updated. Guys, FC is with us now, so the audio. So now I'm going to be doing audio checks with FC, so you don't have to pay too much attention. Hello, Rebecca. I am just going to continue to chat to you. Unfortunately, my earpiece doesn't work right now, but it's okay because I suppose you won't be speaking to me too much actually during the show, just for countdown purposes, in which case I may use my brain. Copy that. How is it sounding? Do you want me to still talk to you? There's lots and lots of old men changing behind us.
That's what parking lots of beach rooms are for.
Through the opening if you want. It's very simple. It should be back. We can do a practice opening if you want, Rebecca. But I don't think it's too necessary. We kind of got it down last time. Okay, we'll do one. How am I going to do a delay with you? I was like, I'm not in front of the camera. What am I going to do? Who am I going to clap to? Did you get it? Oh, how normal. Okay, so this is confirmed practice opening. If it's practice opening, then you will cut me. Correct? Okay. Bex, I'm going to stop talking to you now, and I'm going to talk to the divers and let them know what's happening. They seem to understood. It's a practice opening. It will be a shorter countdown because it's a practice. And we are ready.
Okay. They get all the tests as well.
10-second countdown. 5-second countdown. 3, 2. Welcome everyone to the beautiful, beautiful surface of the water as well as a wonderful landscape out here in Simonstown. We're on Long Beach with SeaForest Live. Here we've got Jandre as well. Oh, we've got Martin. We've got a whole lot of free divers that are going to be diving with us and taking us through the dive this afternoon. Look at that smile. So Martin's easy to identify. He's got these blue panels on his legs, or on his wetsuits. Luckily, it's not actually on his legs. And we've got Jandre, who I'm sure you're familiar with, or you may be familiar with, who's operating the camera. Maybe you're familiar with me. I'm Trishala. You may know my voice. And I've also got Daniela with me. Daniela is from Cape Town Freediving, and she is an expert, aren't you, Daniela?
At freediving?
At freediving. Yes, she is.
So as freedivers, we spend quite a lot of time on the surface. breathing up, getting ready for our dive. And as part of that, we go through some relaxation to relax ourselves, to get really calm, to reduce our blood pressure. And then when you're ready, you take a dive and we go down. Some strong kicks there from Martin, and he will guide us through the kelp forest over the sandbank, and we'll see what we can find. The visibility is quite good today. The area here is between 5 and 6 meters deep, and Martin is diving at about 4-5 meters at the moment. In front of us, to your left, you will see some, it's actually a wreck opening up, and Martin is pointing to something for us. Unfortunately, our breath doesn't last forever, so he'll be coming up, and the next diver might come down and show us what it was in a moment.
Kelp forests and the areas like these, even around wrecks, are so biodiverse because they offer a shelter for lots of species that ordinarily would not be able to exist in just shallow areas or sandy shallow areas. And that's exactly what we're after.
So on the right side of the screen you can see the kelp, and what it's actually hiding is a wreck. Only a part of a shipwreck, a small wreck that is left over on the beach area here.
We've got a bit of breakup, but we're back. Nope, still a little bit. But we're back. So dive down we go. Oh, this is wonderful.
So beautiful.
So in these sandy areas, a lot of times we think that it's just barren. There's not much happening at all. But you can see lots of little whelks, so sea snails, or fish.
Oh, there's an egg,
Eggs.
a nudie egg probably of some sort. Maybe we can find a nudie as well.
That fish is just delightful, if you ask me, peeping out from behind.
Hiding from the camera. So in the middle of the screen you can see some white circular mass. That is actually eggs. Millions and millions and trillions of little eggs of something, most likely a nudibranch, which is a tiny sea slug. There's nothing close by that indicates what nudibranch it is. Who knows, you might find it later. You'll actually see some more eggs, so that white curly mass on the seaweed right in front of the screen on the right side.
Now what's great about the ocean or the sea or living in water, oh look at these are exoskeletons of some sort of crayfish, or lobster.
I would actually say probably shrimp. I don't know if it's too small for a lobster.
Yeah, some type of crustacean, either shrimp or crayfish. It's exoskeleton, and that's because those animals, in order for them to grow, need to get rid of that exoskeleton that is hardened, and a lot of the time once they've done that, their new cuticle is so delicate that you'll find them hidden away. It's a time of true vulnerability for them before it starts to harden into that exoskeleton that we know so well. So it's not as if these are not dead bits of crustacean. They're just kind of free gifts to the sea.
So we've got a little fish guiding us through the kelp underneath the wreck.
Oh, this is really, really nice. Look at all the different colors of the anemones.
And we're moving back up to the water surface. And what is beautiful about kelp is that it's a forest. It really is a forest. So you have groups of kelp together forming a beautiful, beautiful forest. We have a free diver on our left side.
Now over to the right.
So whilst the camera is at the surface, it is because as a freediver we have to come back up and take a fresh breath of air, and between our dives there would be a dive interval just to restore the body back to its natural in terms of CO2 and oxygen. So the diver at the surface will be recovering whilst we're seeing a diver on the right side. That is Sancha. That was Sancha, one of 2 girls in the water today, 2 mermaids.
Now, tops of a lot of the kelp, so we call the stalk, it's called a stipe, and then the tops of the kelp, there's some more divers. That's Stefan, I think. It looks like his breather. No, it's not.
I think it's...
We have a lot of divers in the water today, guys.
So this will be Luke. Luke is actually our youngest freediver. He is so keen to freedive, and he's moving through the wreck. The camera won't follow him through entirely, but it's going to peek through the wreck for us to follow Luke's movements. And as you can see, as Tricia said before, wrecks become little havens or sanctuaries for sea life, so you can see all the different species and colors.
This is a perfect little spot for tiny little nudibranchs that you so often would just swim past because they camouflage so well, but at the same time are so ridiculously ostentatious with their camouflage. But that's a perfect place to find little ones, and I'm sure it's something that you guys do a lot, searching for nudibranchs.
Oh, we do, hours and hours, especially if the visibility is not great. You don't need more than a few centimeters to find a nudibranch, because you're looking at anything from 1 millimeter to 5 centimeters big. Usually between 2 and 10 millimeters is a good medium. So you really learn to focus on the little tiny life that is found in the sea forest.
Now look at how densely that kelp actually grows. Also, just as I was saying that to you, I was watching how the fronds, the top of the kelp, how it was swaying, and then my head started to sway a little bit. Because the whole act of freediving is to train yourself how to actually relax while being uncomfortable.
That's exactly what it is. So we're back underneath the wreck. You can see some sea stars.
Oh, wow. Lots of different...
Oh, that's another sea star over here. So that purpley white in the top middle is a beautiful sea star.
The colors are just magnificent.
Yes.
And in areas like this, little ledges, this is where you might find... now we're actually looking at it from... We're looking at the under of the wreck from the sand, which is an interesting view. What I was saying is, under these ledges you may get a lot of animals like sharks, as well as octopus or cuttlefish that will hang out in those areas. It's always a good spot to check.
So what we're looking at here is obviously a mixture of different both animal and plant forms. So the orange is almost a sponge. You have the purple looking spread out all over the screen, which is actually seagrass. Then we have on the right hand middle screen is an area of where you see some orange and black, some brown and white swaying. That is actually Ascidian, so it's an animal. Looks like some plants, but it is actually an animal form. We're at about 5 meters deep, and what we would usually do as freedivers when we come across a wall like this is move in really closely and very carefully You don't want to touch anything that is 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters big, and see whether we can find some nudibranchs. What is so amazing about this ocean too is that the Atlantic is quite a wild and rough ocean, and from the surface it looks quite dark and often uninviting, but the moment you pop your head under the surface, it just opens up into this beautiful bursting color and life.
It's so wonderful to take a moment and just kind of wait and look for movement, and also to relax and take a few breaths and see what you can spot, because this is like a puzzle. There's so many things. Like we said, there's some ascidians, there's echinoderms, starfish and all that sorts all around there. But it's almost time to close our dive. So we have a quick look down here into the sand. Oh, and we found a lovely fish as well. But our divers will be moving up into the water column, and so will you, as we draw to an end to a magnificent dive here at Long Beach in Simonstown in Cape Town, South Africa. While we ascend, we say thank you for joining us and see you next time.
Thanks, Trish. Thanks, Danielle. You guys are off air, but not really. I was just saying this comes for practice, you know?
Thanks, Bex. Thank you, divers. That was the end of the practice.
I think with the divers, could the divers, when you introduce them, they can raise and number give a thumbs up for the introduction. It would be nice to have them on the camera.
Okay, copy that, but
So Trish is actually talking to comms. We're not talking to you in the water. Just one thing to note, that was a practice run, so we ended the show, but we're going to start again. Just a reminder to the two divers operating the camera and the diver going to be diving as we start, to indicate with both hands that they are inhaling and exhaling, getting ready for the dive. Yes, yeah.
That was great.
Intro again, we'll do it in 2 minutes.
From FC's side, we're going to do another practice in 2 minutes. The only thing we want to add is that when the camera is on you, like the first person, like Martin at the beginning, it would be nice for Martin to give us a thumbs up. So I'll say, this is Martin, he's taking his breaths, and then Martin just gives a look and a thumbs up, just as a bit of an acknowledgement.
I'm going to sit in here. Divers, we're not talking to you at the moment, so you're not missing anything. Trish is speaking to comms. Can you just tell me you copy that? Oh, you're back, okay. Trish is back.
Okay, I'm talking. I'll just let you know what Rebecca's just told me. We're going to be doing just like that, so it's a fairly long practice. like a 10-minute practice where it's going to be an opening, a segment or 2 or 3. Well, I mean, it's one big segment, and then a closing. She's only giving me 10 seconds. I think we need to change the batteries. It's switching off on its own, and it's on the last bar. Copy that, Bex. It's on the last bar, though. We're just gonna change the batteries. I feel like
Do we need this one? What's this one?
Don't have any. It's a special moody for us. We don't really get them here.
Guys, my mic has just died. We're just replacing the batteries.
I have got your audio back.
Just add insult to injury.
Okay, I've changed the batteries. You should have me again, Rebecca.
And if it was up to Graham, it would be live already. But
Okay, we are ready to do another practice intro. I'm just letting you know you might hear your own comms sometimes, Rebecca, but we will sort that out.
here it is again.
Oh, so clear.
beautiful. That is lovely. Frilly mouth nudibranch.
Jellyfish.
Frilly mouth jellyfish.
On the surface. Okay, copy. Divers, that is beautiful, but we got to be on the surface so we can do our practice intro. Going to be practice intro segment for like, I don't know, 7 to 10 minutes, just like the last time, and then a closing. It's a pity they can't communicate back.
It doesn't actually matter so much as the diver. You don't really, you get used to it very quickly.
Do you?
They can communicate back with you by giving a thumbs up that they copy your. Oh, a thumbs up means something else in diving. Never mind. Scratch that. My apologies.
Yes, it's Rebecca. Just when I'm talking on the radio, you talk back, not when you just hear things floating around. My goodness.
Live are very first.
Okay, can I give them 1 minute signal, Bex?
AFM 60, second 16.
1 minute till the start of a rehearsal. I mean, you know what I mean. Practice.
They're having lots of fun.
And the feed that they're losing, is that just because they're going out of range of the circle?
30 seconds, 30.
Really focusing
20 seconds left. 20.
on
The beach.
30 seconds, 30.
Was it 20?
20 seconds, sorry. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Going live. Hello everyone and welcome to another glorious day here in Simonstown. We're on Long Beach in Cape Town in South Africa, and we're at the surface with our lovely free divers. And we're going to take deep breaths in together as we go down and explore the ocean below us. So there's a wreck that's in this area that we're going to explore.
Sancha.
And we have Sancha here. Sancha's taking in some deep breaths. She's one of the free divers at Cape Town Free Divers.
She's taking a deep breath and diving. So that was a beautiful duck dive, which is very standard and very important for free divers. And she might have had some equalization issues and is moving back to the surface. Safety always comes first. But what we can see in our screen, in the middle of the screen, top middle, is a beautiful frilly-mouthed jellyfish. These are extremely special here in Cape Town. They have only been seen a couple of years ago, and this year we've already had a few of these beautiful, most beautiful visitors. So anyone who's been freediving of late has been looking for these in particular, and we are so lucky to see one of these here today.
Now what's super interesting about jellyfish, I mean, apart from the fact that they're beautiful and they have this subtle movement for them to move through the water column. One is that we don't often, when we're diving like this, we see things on the ground a lot. We see things, or on the seafloor, we see things attached to things, and things flowing freely in the water column is just such a joy to see. And jellyfish is just one, what we call jellyfish is just one phase of a whole life cycle. It's just the Medusa phase of a life cycle. And you can see the beating like that. So jellyfish go through being a polyp, and then this life stage where they actually can reproduce. As a polyp, they can too, but not sexually, only asexually.
So this particular jellyfish can grow up to 1 meter tall, or meter in diameter and 1 meter wide. So this is actually quite a small species. And the freediver in the screen is Stefan. He is an instructor at Cape Town Freediving, and he is somewhat of a frilly-mouthed jellyfish whisperer. So we really are very lucky to see this one here today.
You can see how interested everybody is in the fact that it's around, and so are we. It's just amazing that we get to see it, and I can't imagine a meter diameter of
So
this creature.
we do get them, but not very often. We have seen a meter diameter one a couple of weeks ago, and it was huge excitement, as you can imagine. So one of the wisdoms we take away from a jellyfish as free divers is to be like a jellyfish and go with the flow. They are just so, if you look at it, so nonchalant, so relaxed, and they really just move with the current. And in a way, as a freediver, you can really connect to that, because that's the state that you're trying to reach yourself. To be so relaxed and simply flow, go with the flow. So how you see the jellyfish move is it suctions water under its kind of dress or its coat, and then squeezes it back out. Too many S's there.
It's interesting that you talk about that Sancha again.
So Sancha is taking a breath in, and inhaling and exhaling, getting ready for a dive.
You can see she's got a big, very round blue watch face, dive watch face, so it's easy to spot her.
And she's diving right down to the sandy bottom, which at this point is about 4 or 5 meters deep. And what is interesting about sand is that it looks really bland, but we have so much life hiding and utilizing the sandy. Oh, we found something here.
It was a wrapper. So apart from life, we obviously have the trash from human life that gets swept into the ocean.
This is a beautiful spiny sea star.
Oh, you can actually see its limb moving on the left. Not the limb closest to us, but the limb furthest away from us on the left. It's just moving a little bit. See if we just sit and watch for a little. See if we can pick it doing that.
So actually you can now, if you look at the outside of each of his little arms, the black area, so the tip, you can see the tiny little arms, sticky arms that a sea star uses to move itself back and forward in all directions actually. And this one is moving. If you look at the tips, you can see them move. He might be scavenging, trying to find something to eat.
I think it might actually, because you can see them moving, but not in any particular direction. It might be actually using it to try and keep onto something it's feeding on, maybe. I know it may seem as if it's almost just a feature of a rocky face or the sea floor, but in fact it's an animal, not just an animal, it's a carnivorous animal. So it is a predator.
And quite a ferocious one at that. I mean, you look at a sea star and you couldn't imagine how this beautiful animal is feeding on, other life forms, but they truly are ferocious feeders. And how they feed, so on the underside, which we can't see right now, they protrude when they find something to eat, be it excretes acid,
digestive
enzymes that start breaking it down and then pulls it back through its mouth into its stomach. This one is now on the move. And the beauty of being able to observe an animal like this is that when we see a sea star, usually we don't focus on the sea star moving at all. We think they are moving.
Stefan's just called us towards something, a kind of sea pen, or...
So this is actually not a sea pen. We saw one a couple of weeks ago. This is an egg.
An egg of... you and Lisa had it the other day.
So this is actually an egg casing of one of the species of animal that live in the ocean here. We'll have to go and read up on which one it is.
But I remember that it was rare in the first place.
Yes,
that we
very
had
rare.
seen it.
So again, so lucky to find this here. It really is that rare, which explains why I don't know its name. The beauty again of freediving is that we see so many different life forms, and when you don't know what it is, it really inspires you to go, this is.
Now, you may have noticed that we're seeing a lot of eggs that are left alone, a lot of eggs casing, a lot of egg casings and things that eggs that are kind of just attached to either the ground or attached to a codium or any other type of plant that's around. And that's because the ocean means that me as a species, if I were living in an ocean, which I'd love to, if I was a species in the ocean, I don't have to expend energy to go to find another mate. I can just leave my eggs there and hope that some sperm comes along and fertilizes it. And that's a really good way to conserve your energy. And that's why we see so many animals that are just kind of sessile. And they seem like they're doing nothing, but yet they're ferocious predators, or they actually move quite a lot, and we don't see it or don't notice.
So Sancha, the freediver that was in the screen, is pointing at something for us, and we have a lot of beautiful orange and yellow colored sea stars here. So we have 5 or 6 different types of sea stars in Cape Town waters. We're just coming back to the surface for a moment to breathe up. As much as we would love as freedivers to spend all our time underwater, we do need to catch our breath every now and then.
If you saw that little cable, that's not pollution or anything like that. That's the cable that we have from our kit that allows us to dive under with the camera. I think it's Jandre that's handling the camera at the moment. Like I said, we've got quite a few divers in the water right now.
So we're diving back down. This time we are diving, you see the cluster of kelp, and ooh, we found a mermaid's purse, a shark egg. Ooh, it's just hiding underneath some kelp. Maybe one of the divers can move the kelp away.
We'll show you exactly what to look at so it's in the center of your screen. It's now to the top left.
Diver, can you point to the mermaid's purse? We've got loading.
We've lost you. Connecting. The link is back. Okay, you're back.
The link dies here.
We have our divers back. Now, well, hopefully we'll find another little mermaid's purse to show you, but that's something that you do find quite a lot. I say quite a lot, but in fact we just get I guess certain things that people look for, and for me, I love to find mermaids purses. We're just experiencing a breakup. You may have lost it, but we're back. Oh, look at this color, and we're getting pointed or directed towards. Oh no, we have lost you again. Them back. We may actually have to move away from this area just because it does seem out of range, but it seemed to look like a tiny. It's a tiny little sea hare. Such a strange name, but hopefully we'll be able to see another one a little bit closer to us where we can actually spend some time with it.
So the camera is hanging over a beautiful kelp bed. This kelp is actually edible. You can make the yummiest lasagna and pasta with these kelp fronds. And to be honest, most of the kelp and seagrass you find in Cape Town is edible. There's only one species, which is called acid weed, that is not edible, and lucky for us, it isn't really found inshore. So provided you pick fresh fronds or seagrass, you can be sure that you can eat it. Let's see what we're looking at.
This is nice. So we have a little one of the turbans attached to the kelp there. It looks like a sea snail. I couldn't tell which one it was that was attached to the kelp. Lots of things like to eat kelp, obviously because it's abundant.
So
Here we-
Beautiful. We have spiny and a red sea star next to each other. Those are two different species. But other than that, they are both voracious feeders.
I'm actually surprised we haven't seen too many anemones. I'm not sure what that is. That little white thing that's attached to the kelp, it's very close, so it's a little out of focus. So I think what the diver wants to show us is something that's a little further in.
Yeah.
Maybe that turban.
Yes, yes.
So when I say turban, it's not an actual turban floating around. It's a type of sea snail, and its shell looks like a turban.
One of the things I love freediving is when you see how the kelp moves back and fro. In a way, you're holding your breath and it can be quite nerve-wracking, but when you see how things move in the ocean, it really helps you relax. So when you see how the kelp moves, just try and mirror that movement and become calm within that movement, within yourself.
We've just got a couple minutes left of our beautiful dive down here in Long Beach. Maybe time for one more bit of investigation.
We seem to be moving quite fast, so I almost think that the divers have found something. Let's wait and see what they're pointing at.
Ooh, what could it be? Oh, I love this.
Ooh, beautiful long fins. We're now looking at the sun shining through the water surface.
Oh no, we've lost them briefly, but they will be back. Oh, they've picked it up. So just when we move a little bit further than we should, it starts to break up in that way. But hopefully that won't happen too much. Okay, you're still out of range. Breaking up. No link. Connecting. Well, it was gorgeous to see that sun. You're breaking up still. But in these last few
So we've got
few
Martin
seconds.
in the middle of our screen. His fins bobbing about. Don't rush away.
He says, oh, we're at the end of the show, I've got to rush away. But he's right. It is that time, but definitely not to leave us feeling rushed, but to leave us here feeling quite relaxed and connected with the SeaForest out here in Simonstown in Cape Town. So as we lead you up back towards the surface, we'd say thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
It's almost be interesting to know who was using the camera now. Yeah, it was very yeah.
Thanks, guys. That's a wrap for now. I'll let you know of any updates when I get them from Rebecca in FC. Divers, I'm just having to talk to Rebecca through the mic, so this is not for you, it's just for Rebecca. Bex, would you just let me know what it is about the audio that was dropping? Because you said that the audio was dropping, but I was not sure if you meant it's getting louder, softer, or is there actual breakup?
You can do that anytime.
have the notes to be able to look through, like jellyfish, facts about jellyfish.
I know if there was a breakup within the signal. We think that it was the one system failing and the other one picking up, but we'll see what happens with that. It wasn't on your guys' the call side.
Okay, copy. Cool. That's all I needed to know.
Excellent. And Trish, will you guys be getting ready for the backpack now? So we can do from that system?
I guess that's whether everyone is happy with the way this went. If everyone's happy about the way this went, then we can get ready for the next.
Excellent. I think let's do that. We've done this test for an hour now, so I think we were over to backpack. We are happy from the fire control side. If anybody else would like to rehearse an intro or closing, let me know and we can do that.
Okay, copy. No, I think it's a good amount of time to call our divers back. Yeah, okay. Guys, that's it. That's a wrap. You can head back. I see that you are.